Vyrah reporting for duty. Another time together. We get to watch some YouTube together. Just chilling. I it's been a while. I want to see. There's a lot to check out. To check up. There's a lot to think about. So yeah. We'll do this, and I'll just check if my okay. I need to check if my sound is okay. Okay. So let me check if my sound is okay. Let me check if happens to you once in your fucking life. Like your fucking stream gives up on you, and you're like, you have to check forever. Okay. Okay, so this is good. Let's get into the so you know what? We'll start with the some checking up the WoW Reddit. Let's get into it. Okay, let's check some of the Reddit. Let's see how the community, how is the community after the reveal of Midnight, and yeah, let's check it out. So I will not get into the whole this is how I feel playing Fel's card have a demon hunter this season. Yeah. Okay, let me just new. Oh yeah. Well, okay. So today I learned that adding a minimum mythic plus rating in the looking for a group filter remove all spam listing. Oh, this is actually good. Why though? The mount doesn't functions. The season I decided to pug my play to 3k. Funnily enough, the higher I went, the chiller and friendlier people became. Met some great folks along the way. Hope everyone else have the same kind of experience. I think that like with this deserter thing, like it became something different. So yeah. Any vanilla players? What was the community reaction when the first new races were announced? Actually, fucking awesome, because back in the day, you have to remember that like when we started playing WoW, expansions and expansions releases were not something that like we actually expected. So we were playing WoW for already years, right? And then we get the news, because back in the day it wasn't YouTube that sends you the news of, hey man, like here's what's new through the algorithm, you know. And basically we got the news that new expansion, and everything, like at least from my perspective and in my opinion, everything was so fucking cool. Everything, new races, new class, like you get to new new professions, like a new zone to explore. Like everything was just like a fairy tale of a fairy tale of a news, to be honest. And it was really something that changed because, well, because there is like a lot of expansion since then, and also because, well, because time changes. Like but now information, the way like we get the news from like everything, really became something that is really completely different. And because of that, it's kind of like, I'll compare, I'll give it to you this way, right? Back in the day, imagine you're a kid playing Metal Gear Solid or Halo. You play the game and you're a kid and you love the game, and then they tell you Metal Gear Solid, new game. There's the there's a new game. It's what happens next, or Halo, right? And people lost their fucking mind. And there wasn't like, yeah, it's in production. Yeah, it's in production. Hey, back in the day, if you wanted to know that there's a game in production, go fucking buy a magazine, right? On YouTube, the presence of like game developers wasn't the same. So yeah, it was actually quite different. It was actually quite different. The way in general people like discovered video game news was really different. And I think that it was also because of that like it was, how can I say it, really it was really, really fucking magical, you know? It was really fucking magical to discover, like, oh, wow, there's a new game. What the fuck? Like, basically. And it was the reaction because we were all young consumers, young fans, and the way, and there wasn't like as much advertising and teasing and stuff like that when it comes to video game news. So it's like, usually it's like, yeah, this is the game, your favorite game. There's a following to it. But it's a new game. It will be released like today. And it's like basically like this was pretty much like what as a kid we got to hear many times, and it was fucking awesome. So yeah. My first main character, then I feel I'll start playing in WoW. Yeah, I got them. I've got more balls than anyone else. Wow, that's a beautiful tattoo. Damn. Took Ord. Took Ord. We want Legend remix to be like Mop remix. You think you do, but you don't. Yeah. Wasn't he completely fucking like wrong about Vanilla WoW? Wasn't this discussion about like Vanilla WoW, like a classic WoW? You think you do want to play classic WoW, but you don't? It's like, well, this guy was nice, you know, so it wasn't a jerk about it, but it was completely wrong. God damn. Panda ran the long way. Oh, this is cool. Um, wow. Yeah, Paladin, like Draenei is already something. I will finish on that. Damn, what an armor. Alright, let's finish on that. Alright. Okay, now I need to just browser, yeah, browser sound. Yeah. Okay, I just need to just check out something really stupid. So let's say I'll take a random link. All right.
Gonzalez, get in the ring. Time to see firsthand. Yes, sir. Right here. It's finally gonna happen. His fists.
Okay. Okay. So let's get to the React part. Oh fuck. Right. Okay, let's get to the React part. We got some okay. So after all these years, we finally got the fucking release date and trailer for fucking Silksong. If you do not know, I actually fucking love Hollow Knight. I finished the game pretty much in every way possible before it became like really stupid. Like when you're past like a certain level of difficulty. So Silksong is the expansion of Hollow Knight, and it's been years, but we got a release trailer. So let's check it out. Wow. 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 September 4? September 4? September 4, like September 4 this year? Shut the fuck up. We're the 28th. We are the 28th. September 4? September 4? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Okay, let's rewatch the so let's check out the goodies that they left. So the art style is as beautiful and pristine as the first game was, as Hollow Knight was. Let me just check abilities. So you get like different abilities. I don't want to spoil myself about that, but like the map is absolutely giant. Like what you need to know is that like this map is really like used, you know, like it's not like empty spaces after empty spaces. They really put a lot of care when it comes to maps like this. A lot of secrets, a lot of so many. Like you can see that like with the new character we can, so All Knight wasn't someone that was actually like this acrobatic, this like that has had so much freedom of movement, but his rival in the first game, well, was, and this is absolutely beautiful. You can see the range of the enemies, like the variety of enemies. It's unbelievable. As I said, more than 40 bosses, and the bosses are all unique. They all are like fucking like fantastic. Like this is something really cool, and maybe a different story than Hollow Knight, because Hollow Knight was grim, and but like what a beautiful way to, what a beautiful trailer, and releases on September 4. So not too much in a long time. Okay. So with yeah, like a lot of new trailers. So let's check it out. Of Peaks and Tides. I have no clue what it is. Let's check it out. He is mega cute. What a cute little boy. Wow. This is... What the fuck? It looks absolutely stunning. Right, so it's a building sim? There is a lot to this. There is really a lot to this Shadow of Colossus vibe, creating sim. A lot of theme down to nature. I really like the atmosphere and the aesthetic. Okay, let's check it out once more. So you start as someone, a lot of like nature linked like storytelling, so this is good. This makes me think of like building your own base. You build your own base in the forest and you see it grow, so this is interesting. What else? And you build technology while exploring this land. Yeah, here you can see that. Here you can see exactly what I'm saying. Like you are building your own technology, like and village and stuff. You have like your community. So this is cool. There are like there are like a lot to this game. And this seems to be like an open world, but there is a story behind it, like you discovered the lore and some Shadow of the Colossus type of like gameplay where like you attack bigger than you. And wow, this looks beautiful and interesting. I don't know if it will be for like everyone, but what I can tell you is that like it is something really like that people should check it out. I really hope it is as interesting as it is promoted. Oh, the trailer isn't too bad. Like isn't too different from reality. Okay. So, then we have an anime. Okay. Trailer of an anime. Let's check it out. Okay. Okay, so this is a must-watch for me. Just because of the art design that they choose the 90s type of art art design, character design, it looks like this 90s anime that is really good. Like the story on top of that is interesting. The action is really good. Like goddamn, like you can see the different how these. Just look at this frame, right? Just look how different this is from like the anime that you watch usually, and basically well, this is the reason why I don't know, this vibe I want to fucking like I want to fucking experience it. I don't know if it will be this good, but like at least like the story is interesting as well. Like you like, because like my status is an assassin. The anime is name is my status as an assassin obviously exceed the heroes, but usually it's kind of like this manhwa type like of power fantasy. But like here it's like, yeah, but what does it do? You know, it doesn't mean that like it's the best in the world or like is the best in this universe. And this is interesting. There are like many things that are like really cool. So for me, it's a must fucking watch. But nostalgia is something that is hard to control, and because of that, you know, like so yeah. I think that like it is an interesting anime that you should that people should give a try. Like just because of how beautiful the ambience is, and I don't know, you can see the care, of this of the people making this anime. So I don't know, but you should check it out. At least like that's my idea. Okay. Okay. All right. So what else? We got the fucking like legend himself, fucking like talking about anime, so I don't have to. Let's check out Summer Anime in a Nutshell by Gigak. This man is a legend. If you didn't subscribe to this man, subscribe to this man and give this man money. He really deserves it. He really does quite the fucking. I discovered many animes thanks to him. So yeah, let's check it out. And yeah.
Anime. What the hell, man? Of course, during one of the most busy periods of my life, you drop one of the most stacked seasons in years. I mean, just look at all these shows. Normally, I try to blast through the sequels as quickly as possible, but it's kind of hard this time because, like, half of this chart is high-profile sequels. Obviously, we've got the continuations of shows that didn't finish long ago. Dandadan, Kaiji number 8, Sakamoto Days, Dr. Stone. Dress Up Darling is back with the best girl in anime. That sentence was made with absolute zero bias. I don't know how they did it, but it looks like Cloverworks have upped the quality on it in the general animation of the season, and considering how much love they put into certain scenes in season 1, this could be shaping up to become the Sistine Chapel of gooning, along with the Sistine Chapel of vibes. and gooning. The Bunny Girl Senpai characters are in frickin' university now. God, I've been asking forever for more anime characters to get older than high school age, and now I've waited so long, these characters have actually grown up beyond high school age. Unlike the characters in Grand Blue, they're about as mature as I remember them. After 15 years, Panty and Stocking is somehow back as unhinged and insane as ever. Now, for those of you that weren't around at the time, this ended on one of the biggest cliffhangers in anime ending history that left fans as confused as they were shocked. 15 years, we wondered, what the hell was that plot twist? Where the hell did that come from? I was lucky enough to attend the premiere of the first episode and meet the team, and on stage, the legendary director, Hiroyuki Imaishi himself, said, "Yeah, I didn't really put much thought into the original ending."
A legendary fact about a legendary man that nobody knew about. This is the stuff of legends. After all this time, what was the secret? Oh, fucking no, I just wrote something randomly and I thought it sounded cool. This is how you fucking like change the world and make it a better place.
Bruh. The vending machine isekai got a sequel? Who the hell is funding this? And the Shoulder Boy isekai with thick thighs? Who the hell is funding this? Actually, don't answer that question. Then, we got the sequel films to two of the most popular anime IPs of modern time, Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man. Some of the most highly anticipated, high-profile films right next to, what is this? Ban, the boundary of adulthood? Oh great, another isekai. Whose bright idea was it to add yet another isekai to the world of anime? I'm pretty sure that's not even a real name. Yes, if you haven't heard, I'm making an anime short film. It's a
Good on him. I've seen the trailer. I didn't reacted to the trailer, but like I need to react to the trailer. Like, good on Garnt. Good on fucking Kigak.
real anime. See, it's on my anime list. That means it's anime, guys. For anyone in Japan, I'm premiering it on the 24th of August at the Ikebukuro Grand Cinema Sunshine. Last few tickets are available at the link on screen or in the description, but I am also putting it out for free on YouTube next month on this channel, so keep an eye out for that when the date is finalized. Speaking from the heart for a bit though, this project has been a dream come true, and I hope that I've made something that even just a few of you can appreciate. This is a passion project completely funded by me, made with the help of so many talented people that I've met in my journey on YouTube. It might not be the most high profile or big budget anime this summer, but I can proudly say that at least it'll be the only isekai this season that will be showing off the fantastic work of my close mate, Kevin Penn. Oh god damn it, Rising of the Shield Hero! This is what we need to start the season off with. If you're like me and you're still suffering PTSD from the existence of Inukai's dog, this is the eye bleach that the therapist ordered. No more gooning, no more thirsting over small animals, just a warm, cozy show about a woman and her adopted...
Yep, it's a pretty fucked up looking dog.
God damn, after that I feel something arising. And I think it's AFK Arena's newest collaboration with Solo Leveling, today's sponsor. Yes, that's right, the AFK Arena universe is colliding with Solo Leveling with a crossover event bringing in Cha Hae-in and Sungjin Woo the Shadow Monarch, who you can get for free when you log in. This is your chance to bring your aura farming game to the next level, because Sungjin Woo still gets his Solo Leveling system. His system can turn combat duration into an infinite power curve, permanently boosting stats, healing allies, and synergizing with Cha Hae-in. With Solo Leveling, you can skip the grind with AFK Arena's auto battle team. Just activate Shadow Auto Crusher mode, park your phone, and let Sungjin Woo's Shadow Army do all the work. Honestly, that's a pretty lore-accurate Solo Leveling experience. There are even more gift boosts. By logging in, you can get 10 free summons daily during the first month, totaling at over 1,000 free summons. Yes, you heard that right. But I know what you're thinking. Is Sungjin Woo really the most overpowered protagonist? Well, you don't have to wait until the next death battle to find out. With AFK Arena, you can settle the debate in-game to have the ultimate isekai Isekai Showdown. AFK Arena's already collabed with other anime that have their own powerful protagonists. You can pit Sung Jin Woo versus Ainz, Cha Hae-in versus Albedo. Everyone is overpowered, but who is the most broken? And who will be broken? So, what are you waiting for? Click that link in the description to try out AFK Arena's collaboration with Solo Leveling today. And with that said, let's get back to summer 2025. Even though it's my job to keep up with what's going on in the world of anime, sometimes I get a reminder of just how completely out of touch I am with the adjacent manga community, because prior to now, I had not heard of The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity despite it being one of the highest ranked new manga of recent times. It's a new high-profile romance anime, it's comfy, it's sweet, it's about a delinquent boy and a smart girl from rival schools falling for each other Romeo and Juliet style in a premise we've seen all throughout history. Now, real talk. I've gone on record saying that these modern high school romance comfort anime aren't generally my thing anymore. I finished Blue Box thinking that it just started to cook. Even my gold standard for the genre, The Dangers in My Heart, took until season 2 for me to fully appreciate it. Which is to tell you guys that despite the critical acclaim, even I was surprised at how fast this show hooked me. Sometimes there is no secret formula. Sometimes it's just about telling a story and telling it really well with characters you want to root for. There's a soul to these characters I can immediately feel with the way they react to situations, the dignified way they treat
The art style is absolutely unbelievable as well. Like,
each other. They aren't just your tropey romance protagonists, and this is just a sweet story that warms the soul. Add to this Cloverworks bringing some close to movie level productions, and I can understand why this had so much hype going into it. It remains to be seen if this can top my experience with The Dangers in My Heart, but at least for this season, there is no other romance anime that is even gonna come close. Yes! Yes!
yeah, like I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Last time, last romance anime that I watched was Kowloon, and it was really, really good. So yeah, I'll check this out.
Yes! 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 This is it. This is where history's gonna be made. The world's about to witness the birth of the LeBron of cucks. Or what's that? You're more of a shonen trash kind of guy? Well, boy, do I have the show for you.
I'm the trash man.
Farming trust. Okay, you want peak aura? Well, here you go. This guy is peak aura. I meant like Aura from Freeran. Cleaver Tez. Now, this was a show that got on my radar because it's a fantasy anime with a name that isn't a full-blown paragraph. This series tells you from the get-go that it is absolutely pulling no punches. This is a gritty, dark fantasy through and through that doesn't just skip over its world building because it doesn't assume you've seen a million copy-paste fantasy anime before, with production values that aren't to be scoffed at. Out of all the fantasy anime, this one surprised me the most, so I'm putting it down as the dark horse this season. What else we got in the world of isekai and fantasy? I got reincarnated as a waterbender. Let's see what you can do.
I'm sorry, I swear I can usually last longer than this.
There's another socially awkward anime girl who's so shy she figured out chantless casting and became one of the most powerful mages in the world. I have to try my hardest to not call this Bocchi the Witch, but with the amount of socially awkward female protagonists nowadays, it's kind of just a given because that's right. All roads lead to her, baby. We got another guy kicked out of his party, so what does any man do when that happens in a fantasy world? That's right. Buy a slave and open up a restaurant. What is this? Delicious out of dungeon? Child labor in another world? Fucking rising of the meal hero? Oh, looks like there's another Josei romance in a fantasy world. I mean, it looks alright. I'm just not sure I'm the target demographic.
私は姉にプロポーズした人の花嫁となる。
I'm immediately interested. There's another kingdom building isekai. I know I've made jokes about some anime feeling like a Civ isekai, but it looks like we've just cut the bullshit now because the main character literally gets transported into a game of civilization. Oh, hey, this isn't an isekai. This wasn't an isekai. If Gachi Akuta wasn't enough to get your shonen fix, we got Token Anki. And, well, if the former felt like what Soul Eater was for modern shonen, this shit feels like Blue Excess coded all the way, except we've got a power system around bloodbending. Now, we've seen America's take on bloodbending plenty of times before, so I wonder how the Japanese are going to do it. Hold on a second, this doesn't seem right. Lord of Mysteries. It seems like nowadays there's at least one Chinese animation that seems to be sneaking on these lists, and this season, it's this one. This is a highly anticipated adaptation of one of the most beloved and acclaimed web novels to come out of there, and guys, it's an isekai. But we're not isekaiing ourselves to the typical fantasy world. China has decided to isekai us to England? You fucking what? The production is up there as some of the best you can find this summer, and that's saying a lot with some of the other shows coming out. My only concern is that as someone coming into this completely blind, they seem to be blasting through this. This is a high concept, dense story with what feels like a bloody rich world, and the beginning throws you right at the deep end and expects you to keep up. It felt a little bit overwhelming. Hopefully things get a bit easier to follow the further this gets long, but this is one I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on.
I think that like from what I've seen, the Chinese anime releases are out of this world when it comes to art style, art direction, and in general just the way it is, like just the way to start storytelling, and also like the hype that they put in it, because To Be Hero X is the anime that like got released like last season, and god damn, it is quite fucking legit. It is high quality. It is something really special, you know. And I think that like this is really interesting. Not my fun, to be honest, but will be the fun of many. And I'm really happy that China is also releasing like stuff since then. So yeah.
Oh hey, another anime about some girls making friends.
A few moments later.
Gay
girls, innit? This season, we got another show that asks, can a girl-girl friendship survive? Probably not. Awkward and lonely pink-haired girl goes to a new school and tries to reinvent herself in an attempt to make new friends, and in the process, unintentionally gets herself a harem of hot girls thirsting over her, even though all she wanted to do was just make some... Wait a minute. This is just botchy if she locked in. Quick shout out to friend of Trash Taste Sally Amaki, who landed her first lead role playing a British girl in Japan. Fun fact, she actually hit up Connor to give her a bit of coaching on how to do a British accent for this role. Let's see what Connor's been teaching her.
An arcade? Are you going to escort me then?
Just a bit of banter.
Hey, corporate wants you to make one of those TikTok dance routines for the opening. We need this to go viral. But, sir, I have no experience choreographing TikTok dance. Just shut up and do it anyway. Maybe make them do something with their hands or something. That's it? That's what you came up with? Can't you make it more interesting? Alright, good job. You know that old friend you can go years without seeing, and then one day you meet up and it's like not a single day has passed? Yeah. That's Kyoto Animation every single time. Carrying on the soul of Nichijou, implanting chaos into the mundane with that impossibly high bar of Kyoto Animation quality, comes City the Animation. And god, this shit is just crack for my eyes. I love everything about the way it looks. The colors, the energy, the art style. I just want to serve this aesthetic up in a plate and just... Maybe I shouldn't have written that paragraph when I'm about to have lunch. Okay, what's next?
What a beautiful way to spend the evening. What the fuck?
Stephen King, a decorated master of horror, once said, there are 3 types of terror. The gross out, the sight of a severed head tumbling down a flight of stairs. The horror, the unnatural, spiders the size of bears, the dead waking up and walking around. And the last and worst one, terror, when you come home and notice everything you own has been taken away and replaced by an exact substitute.
お前、やっぱ、惹かれちゃうやろ。
Horror and anime is historically 2 things that don't always work well together, but we might just have the strongest candidate in a very long time. A very long time. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I was so excited for a new horror anime and hyped it up, because actually, you know what, I've never done that before. Because if there's one type of horror I could actually see working in anime form, it's this one. It's not the type of horror that jump scares you or tries to make you squeamish. It's the unsettling type. The one that slowly seeps in, chills you to the core, and follows you wherever you go. The atmosphere drags you in, never letting you get get away from this constant feeling of unease. You're side by side with an eldritch horror, unsure where it's going to lead you. It's pure Lovecraft. If Lovecraft was written in Pride Month. And the production values. Man. Cygames Pictures proving once again that they are one of the most exciting new studios out there. And I don't know who the director of this is, but this is some top tier directing and building up suspense and tension. They must have done some pretty damn good work in the past. Ah, I see. He is no stranger to eldritch horrors and anime. After that show though, I feel like we can do with a little pick-me-up. But this looks like a cute little show. I wonder what— oh my god! What is this? And you don't seem to understand. You know you're in for a ride when a show hits you with not one, but two separate content warnings right from the get-go. And honestly, maybe they didn't warn me hard enough, because you won't find a show harder to sit through this season than Takopi's Original Sin. This is not one for the faint of heart, and I'm not saying that as clickbait or as a challenge. Normally on YouTube there are some anime where I have to be careful about what I show, because some of the content is about to make the UK government check your ID. But this is one of the few examples where if I show you everything, YouTube is about to restrict it for an entirely different reason. This show is heavy, depicting some of the worst experiences a child can go through in a completely unfiltered lens. It'll hit you with a soul-crushing scene you find hard to stomach and just hold on it, challenging you to keep watching, keep somehow pressing on, that by the end of the episode you've got nothing left you can say except for just— man. It's the kind of series where you have to switch off the TV and go outside to remind yourself that the world isn't as awful as what you just watched, which may leave some of you wondering why I would even recommend people watch this, and that's because it might not make you feel good, but what it will make you feel is going to be incredibly powerful. This is the kind of media that only comes along once in a blue moon, so yeah, give this one a watch if you want to support your local therapist. In Shoujo Land, we've got the popular, good-looking guy from class falling for the plain, old-looking, ugly girl. We've seen this one before, but interestingly, the English title of this is April Showers Bring May Flowers, which is nice. It sounds poetic. Then I had to double-take reading the Japanese title, which I believe approximately translates to, "Hey, a bouquet for this ugly hoe!" Yo, Japan, chill. She's not even that ugly.
What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure there are worse examples. Holy shit, they actually did it. Lore accurate Mushoku Tensei. It's official. Ugly bastards have escaped your favorite dojins and are now invading your isekai. This is the true power fantasy we were waiting for. Introducing the Vanguard of Virginity, the CEO of Abstinence. Bro has been looksminning since the day he was born. Sung Jin-woo may be the king of aura farming, but he hasn't met the gods of odor farming. At first, I thought this was just propaganda for the ugly bastard apologists, and then I realized with the recent trend of fantasy shows changing up the protagonist formula to more accurately represent what the audience have grown into, this is just the final form of the genre. Finally, the representation we were waiting for. No, the representation that we need.
The name of the fucking anime is Ugly Mugly. Like, how mean can you be to someone that has like that doesn't have the fucking right genetics and is simply like doesn't fit the beauty standards? Ugly Mugly epic fighter. How mean can you be? What the fuck?
Motherfucker is so powerful he can't even die. He just gets banished to the shower realm. Cute girls do bowling now? Alright, well I mean, seems pretty decent. It's a formula we've seen before, so you know what to expect when it comes to these kinds of things. Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck? What is this? What the hell is going on? What? Why are they in feudal Japan? What? Why are they on an active battlefield? Oh god, they're using their bowling skills to survive in a nation war-torn area. I can't. This is the stupidest thing I've seen all year. Girls' high school bowling club gets isekai'd to feudal Japan? Who the hell thought of this idea? This is slander. Oh hey, more cute girls. I wonder what they're doing this time. Oh come on! Finally, we got an anime about rocks. Minerals! And what better way to do that than some adorable anime girls collecting and finding rocks? Minerals. And look, I have no personal interest in rocks. Minerals! But this show is goddamn beautiful. Coming from Studio Bine, it looks like once again they're moving outside of just the confines of adapting Mushoku Tensei, and they said, screw it! I want to make a show about rocks. Minerals. And damn, if they're not putting all their effort into this. I mean, the backgrounds, the animation, whoop! the character designs. Are we sure this ain't a baking show? Cause that is some premium cake right there. Look, I might just be interested in rocks.
Jesus, Maria.
No, because I gotta say, that's one attractive minor. You know what? Never mind. Huh? Who's messaging me? Nothing. Let's just move on. I was just saying that this person looks pretty. You know, she looks pretty. She likes rocks. She's a mine.
The R sound is both a consonant and a two open. Relax your mouth and lips apart. Push and lift.
Lady who likes to mine rocks, also known as an M-I-N-E-R miner. Oh god, that's not what I meant!
A minor.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you very much this month too.
Okay, this was awesome. Thank you, Gigok. Thank you, Gigok. Yeah. Okay. So, Gigok talked about his anime. I actually watched the video. Let's react to his anime. Let's check it out. This looks actually really good.
Has there ever been a line you wrote in one of your videos that ended up really sticking with you?
I mean, that is a tough question. I don't even know where to begin with that. I've written so many lines about so many different shows, so many different anime that I don't even remember every opinion that I've had. But if I had to pick one, there is one that still stands out to me. And it was a line I wrote when I was talking about Porter Robinson's Shelter. And I remember this line vividly because it was at a time when I had just quit my job to pursue this YouTube thing full time, writing about anime, and I was nervous as hell. So I was in my bedroom, which at the time happened to also be my office, writing about this one guy who had gone out to Japan and collabed with this Japanese animation studio to make an anime music video. And I thought that was cool as hell. And I remember writing this line. It went at something along the lines of, this man has shown that you can live the weeb dream. You can go out and make your own anime. All you need is fame, a shit ton of cash, an international music producer, backing from some anime studios and companies, and a great vision with a burning passion. Easy, right?
So just so you know, the real name of Gigok is Garnt. So it is his anime.
I hear the whisper, I hear the song, guiding my way as I wander. Voice on the wind, echoes and sings, calling me forward where I belong.
行ってきます。
お願いします。
sure reminder that love remains. Now I'm home.
Wow.
バン大人の教会
Okay, so let's check it out. Let's like any other. Like, I'm really happy for Garnt. I'm really happy for Gigak. This looks like you can always already see the care. The character design is absolutely unbelievable. Like, the story is quite mysterious, but it makes you wanna like think. It makes you wanna think about it. Like, it looks really interesting in every way. The people that he hired, like the songwriter is from Made in Abyss. There is like other like big great people. Like, I don't know what the story is all about, but I really want to discover it. Like, this is a type of thriller that actually, like, you know, like it may, like, it doesn't fucking tell you anything, but it tells you enough to wonder what is going on, and you know, not the what the fuck is going on in this, you know. What's the story of this? Why is there a dragon? Why who is this girl? Why is she friends with dragon? And what's going on, really, you know? And this is really the type of anime. I think that, like, the trailer is absolutely unbelievable. Like, this is a great trailer, and I think that, like, I really hope it will be a beautiful anime. I know that for Gigak it is, so it's enough. All right, let's get into some WoW.
With beautiful. I have a long-running fascination with beautiful things in games. Whether that is the design of the world itself, the landscapes stretching across my monitor and promising new adventures on the horizon, or all of the little things in between, like art and clothing that help to tell you part of the story. Along with that, I always pay special attention to the design of the inhabitants of any given world. Their individual features, their hair, if they wear makeup, how they physically carry themselves. In the context of a world like what we have in World of Warcraft or in Azeroth, where you have so many different races with their own unique cultures and societies, have you ever stopped to ask, what are the particular beauty standards that each of these races are held to? What is it that these people find beautiful? This can be in the sense of what each race finds individual.
This is actually a beautiful way, and a beautiful way to think about, like, new civilizations that you meet in video games. Through what they see as beautiful, what does it tell you about them? This is actually really a beautiful and absolutely clever way to fucking think about, like, discovering new worlds and new stories.
Really attractive, and therefore what are the most common traits that you will spot all across the board, as well as what each person from a particular race would desire for themselves. What do they look up to? Who do they model after in order to achieve a particular beauty standard for their own internal happiness? Today I want to discuss beauty standards in Azeroth, and I want to take a look at this from a few different angles. We're going to explore it, first of all, against the backdrop of our real-life beauty standards at the time of WoW's creation, then the perspective of real players and how they
This is actually a great way to a great way to do analysis.
Beauty in this world, as well as what I have personally observed to be canon to the in-game universe somewhat in terms of beauty standards. But before we get started, I just want to say that in my opinion, a person's mind is the biggest thing that makes them beautiful. And in the spirit of nurturing your mind and always working to be a better version of yourself, I would like to happily recommend Brilliant to you guys. If you're unfamiliar with it, Brilliant is a platform that allows you to train your mind and problem-solving skills, helping you to become a better thinker with thousands of visual, interactive lessons in math, science, programming, data analysis, and AI. Just like you have daily habits to take care of your body, Brilliant can help you acquire new habits to do the same for your mind. Even learning a little every day can take you a long way in terms of reaching your personal and serious professional goals. It's convenient because you're able to access all of the hands-on lessons that Brilliant has to offer on the go with your phone. So your habits don't have to be broken by a busy schedule or just because you're not at home. Brilliant can also help you attain a healthier attitude towards certain concepts, maybe things that perhaps you avoided because you just couldn't see their real-life application. Math is definitely one such concept that gets this treatment across the board where people are like, where am I going to use this in real life? Brilliant, with the help of real industry professionals and university professors, have built mathematical courses that focus on just that, their real-life practicality, how they are applicable in your personal growth and career. They do of course cover a full range of subjects that perhaps you would have thought unattainable for yourself outside of a university setting. For example, cutting-edge topics such as AI with courses in logic and how AI generally works. If you're interested in nurturing your own beautiful mind and you would like to try out everything that Brilliant has to offer for free, you can go to brilliant.org/AngelikaTosh, you can scan the QR code on screen, or you can just follow the link down in my description below. My viewers are also getting a 20% off a premium subscription, which will give you unlimited daily access to everything that's on Brilliant. Thank you once again, Brilliant, for sponsoring this video. Now back to beautiful people in Azeroth, I thought that we would get the most out of this discussion by focusing on the races as they are up to the Burning Crusade expansion. As it stands, the retail or most up-to-date version of Azeroth features many new races and sub-races, or I believe they're called allied races, and I feel that a lot of the aesthetic kind of went from that Warcraft look into the more generic territories, and what I'm really interested in is precisely that, the Warcraft look, with its specific Warcraft 3 roots and how...
I think that this false is just that the allied races became quite the extension of this Warcraft look and added some layers to this idea of style and beauty, but it is not like... I can understand that it can be seen as generic, but at the same time it is not like too far-fetched, too much outside of what is the base Warcraft
was
look.
Worked into the MMO. And with that, I would like to take you guys back to the early 2000s. 2004 was the year World of Warcraft came out, and we got to know the first 8 playable races. The humans, night elves, dwarves, and gnomes on the Alliance, and then the orcs, undead, tauren, and trolls on the Horde. Looking at these races from a wide lens, there's not a whole lot of connection that you could make to our real life from the get-go, other than obviously the more human-looking races like the humans and the dwarves, looking like us and being most relatable. But when you focus in on the finer details, you do start to see some of these influences. Focusing specifically on the female characters, even just from the first original 8 races. It might seem subtle at first, but in reality, across all the races, they're quite heavy on the eye makeup, particularly with black eyeliner and a lot of eyeshadow. The lips are quite defined with different color lipsticks. They mostly have quite thin...
This is really interesting, and this is why, like, following female content creators can actually offer you a perspective that is really unbelievable. I would have never thought about like fucking makeup when it comes to beauty standards in a video game. This is the good stuff.
The eyebrows and the faces as a whole have a sort of a frosty appearance to them, kind of a glow, especially under the eyes. Notice that a lot of the lipsticks kind of have that frosty or glowy effect to them as well. It's like the specific shine. Upon even closer inspection, I believe that this is all very closely resembling makeup trends from the time. If you look at how celebrities did their makeup in the early 2000s, you'll start to see a lot of what we have observed in WoW. The dark eyeliner, especially on the waterline, and the different colored eyeshadows. Thin eyebrows were generally the desired look at the time, and then you have that frosty glow that I talked about with the faces. Like, there's a sort of shine to them that you don't really see in today's makeup trends. I feel like today it's more popular to have like this natural dewy glow, whereas in the early 2000s they were very much about like the glam and exaggerated look. And finally, the lips. They were quite defined, and I know that I've used that word a lot now, but it's hard to describe it as anything other than frosty, kind of cold looking shine on the lips that, again, isn't quite as popular today, but you would see it quite a lot back then. I definitely think that the original artists that worked on creating these races in WoW did a fantastic job with making this a really subtle thing that you'd really have to look at and compare to the trends of the time to understand the inspiration. And that's sort of what gives it that timeless look as well, the fact that it isn't so obvious. It doesn't take you out of the fantasy, and at the same time you're drawn to them in a way that maybe you don't realize. It's something familiar, it's attractive, and stands out, but again, timeless. And now I want to give special attention to the Blood Elf females. These were the epitome of early 2000s beauty. The actual Paris Hiltons and Britney Spears of Azeroth. And they were a lot more obvious with it too. Everything about them, the makeup, and especially the hair, which had this almost obviously not their natural color kind of look about them, but I guess it would be their natural color, which makes them like even more magical. It's like this really vibrant and exaggerated tint to their hair. And strangely, I think that it worked really well for them, even in the context of such a fantasy world. It's interesting that originally the alpha version of Blood Elves, or the High Elves as we saw them in vanilla, were maybe a bit more natural with their hair colors, though still very heavy on the makeup, but I do feel that they were a lot less obvious with those influences that we talked about. And then for TBC, they really decided to adopt that aesthetic. It's no mistake that there's a Paris Hilton or Harris Pilton NPC in WoW either. Even their nails are painted, unlike other races. The developers didn't make everybody look so generic though, and that's what I really appreciate about World of Warcraft, especially for the races where you're kind of expecting them to have a more rough around the edges look. They certainly deliver, but at the same time, each of those races has that one pretty face, which I think is meant to be closest to human and a sort of a youthful complexion where they do implement the trends of the time. They kind of give a relatable touch to every single race, so it's not just all of those kind of rough faces for everybody. Perhaps subtly trying to give the Horde even more of an appeal. With some races, of course, like the Night Elves or the humans, they were very obviously adhering to what we would see as conventionally attractive beauty standards, but in races where they couldn't do it all the time or it would look silly, they had other things that would instead hint to the sorts of standards that a particular race would have. I think that the individual races' dances are a great example of that.
What's interesting is that like they created like beauty standards to races that do not share beauty standards that are ours. For example, showing teeth and like some orc races have beauty standards, but it's beauty standards within their own race, and this is what I find interesting. For example, Taurens, right? Or trolls or orcs, like it is beauty standards, but they did it in a way that is within their own culture, and I really like this.
Like, for example, troll females. The very word troll, or saying that someone looks like a troll, has very negative connotations around it. It kind of already insinuates that you're not really attractive. But then you look at the dance for the female trolls, and it's taken from the Shakira Whenever, Wherever music video. So where they maybe couldn't apply a traditional beauty standard, they gave them the moves. Their hips certainly don't lie. And, you know, when you're talking about one of the most attractive pop singers of the time, it's a very interesting comparison, and it's very interesting that they tied them in with female trolls to give them that bit of femininity and kind of a more conventional turn as well for a race that's meant to be more kind of rough. I keep using that word, but You understand what I mean. I always thought that the undead females were a very interesting example of this as well. A race that is literally a dead, decaying corpse has these really sensual dance moves inspired by one of the most beautiful dances in the world, belly dancing. In general, and in line with the standards of the time, I think that all of the female characters were designed to be quite feminine and taking inspiration from the real world, but also making it their own. As for male characters, for how different all the races are, in general, they all do have this very masculine look to them. They're generally very fit, strong arms, they've got symmetrical faces, a real medieval hero kind of look about them with the longer hair, and I'd say that there's actually quite a lot of Lord of the Rings inspiration instead of just real life actors or singers inspiration. It looks like the male characters took more inspiration from fantasy movies in the early 2000s than, again, real life trends like the female characters did. And perhaps in the creation of the races, the developers thought that these are just things that either gender would most relate to. Again, keep in mind, 2004 people. Male blood elves are very interesting to look at here because they're definitely an outlier. I think that they're the more feminine out of all of the races. They still have a sort of a masculine look to them, but more so in an early 2000s soft boy singer aesthetic. I do think there is quite a bit of Legolas in there too, but for the most part, the rest of the races are these sort of big, bulky guys, and if they're not bulky, there's a focus on something else to make the race stand out. But then you've got the Blood Elves, which are quite obviously with symmetrical faces, beautiful hair, so again, a bit of an outlier and certainly something different for the Horde. And talking about dances again, like the male trolls had this Brazilian martial arts inspired dance, so I guess in terms of what's attractive there, you could say it's that they're very agile, they've got a lot of upper body strength, even if they're not as bulky or muscular as the other races. The undead male dance is this sort of rocking out to heavy metal vibe, and they are one of the things that really explain why World of Warcraft always had such a universal appeal. Whatever your personal vibe or aesthetic, it seemed that World of Warcraft had a little bit of everything for everyone. To me, the undead males kind of represented that new metal look from the early 2000s. They were forged to the sound of Linkin Park. Really, their hairstyles and everything is also like super representative of that. But again, all of the things that we've just looked at here are solely focusing on the developer side of things, the artists and their own vision and inspiration when it came to designing the races. The next thing that I want to focus on is how actual players interpreted beauty in this world. So when it comes to the concept of beauty standards, generally it's a desirable thing to be considered beautiful or attractive. People want to adhere to these standards to fit in, to be liked, to find love, or sometimes just because they want to feel beautiful themselves and they think that that is the best way to achieve that. World of Warcraft is obviously an online game. This means that to an extent, people may create their character based on what they feel will be most attractive to other players that are out there. Depending on how you play, it's different for everybody, but a lot of people see their in-game avatar as an extension of themselves, and therefore they look for the best representation of that to interact with the world and other players. Time and time again, through player senses and other things like simply playing the game and seeing what's out there, we can observe that the most popular races are the Blood Elves, the Night Elves, and humans. And even today, with the introduction of all these new races and sub-races, this is still true. In a Reddit post from 6 years ago, there was a very interesting ranking of what was popular in terms of race, gender, and class at the time. At that point, Night Elf female druids were the top choice, followed by human male paladins as the second choice. At this point also, Blood Elf male and female paladins appeared just below male taurens, which is interesting, but still in the top 10. For this, let's just ignore all of the allied races for a minute and focus just on the core 8 races from TBC. Near the bottom of the rankings, you'll see a lot of troll, orc, dwarf, and tauren females. Specifically females. The male variants of these races seem to be a lot more popular as a whole. And it's true, where you see a ton of male orcs, for example, where do you ever see female orcs? I will speak from personal experience also, but
I will also say this, while what she's saying is true, the reality of it is that WoW is a game played by mostly males, and because of that, also like there's a lot of feminine genders that are not represented, not liked, just because there isn't enough of a feminine player base within the game. And as stupid as it sounds, obviously, it sounds like really, really, really logical, but yeah.
It is true that these are the races that I least see when it comes to female characters. I've just mentioned it, but really, female orcs are total unicorns for me. I feel like I never see them. But I will admit, I personally also never play them. I myself don't feel particularly drawn to them, and if I do play those races, I actually prefer playing the male variants. Like, one of my favorite characters to play is an undead male, but with undead females, I just never feel the connection. Like, if I ever play as an undead female, it just feels kind of wrong. And it's just that, they don't appeal to me, and I think that that's the case for a lot of people. And as much as perhaps we might hate to say it, I do feel that this is very closely related to beauty standards and what players actually find beautiful. It's no coincidence that the most conventionally attractive races in World of Warcraft are the most played races. For the rest of the races, however, it's not to say that they're not beautiful in the context of their own world, however. And this is where we come to the part of the video where I will be looking at beauty standards as I believe the people of Azeroth understand them, without our real-world intervention. This will apply to most of the races, but I think that there's beauty in simplicity. Honestly, there is nothing otherworldly about almost all of these races, and I think that that's what makes them beautiful. They have a very ordinary appearance. Pretty for sure, symmetrical faces, physically fit, but their physical appearances are not exaggerated or blown out of proportion. They do look, for the most part, like regular people, and again, that is the beauty of it. They live regular lives, they fall in love, they work hard. And you do have the outliers like the Night Elves and the Blood Elves who are meant to be beautiful in a way that's almost magical and I guess in a way unattainable. But we'll get to that in a second. What I love about WoW is that not every race has to have this specific type of look for female characters for them to be considered feminine and beautiful in their own race. Beauty and femininity can vary across the different cultures.
Yeah, and this is actually really interesting once you actually start abandon the idea of comparing the beauty standards to the real world. And within Azeroth, within World of Warcraft, you can see that what they did within this universe is actually really beautiful when it comes to beauty standards between all of this, and this is actually really great.
In some cases, they value physical strength more and they find it more attractive. In other cases, I wager they look for wisdom as a general standard or one's spirituality and connection with nature. Where physical beauty does play a factor, I think that it's explored in a very interesting way, like depictions of women in art or the way in which nobility dresses and looks, so you can see that there is something that perhaps the other more regular inhabitants have to model after. Every race thrives in their own society and culture. They find beauty in themselves, they fall in love, they marry, and they have children. The beauty standard in Azeroth is not just Night Elf or Blood Elf. Even they have their own traits and things to look for within their own societies, as does every other race in Azeroth. Sure, the argument of the Night Elven physical beauty is obvious, and we can see that in even the beautiful clothing that accentuates their tall, slim figures. That's a big part of it, but their connection to nature and their spirituality is arguably a more spoken about and important feature. Their wisdom, their devotion to Elune, all things that I believe they actually value above the physical. You'll see that some races have a lot of piercings and jewelry, like the Blood Elves, Orcs, humans. The Night Elves, for example, don't seem to wear any jewelry. Trolls, for example, have tusks and they wear face paint. The way they do their hair also really stands out. I would guess that for a Tauren, a well-groomed mane and coat is rather important. But on a deeper level, again, wisdom, spirituality, but also the ability to hold your own. Protect your home, regardless of your gender. Gnomes are a whimsical race who I think like to stand out from the crowd, even though they're quite small. Brightly colored hair and a sharp mind, the ability to innovate, really seem like things that I would most associate with their race, and therefore I think that those are the things that they would find beautiful. Again, it's no mistake that a lot of them strive to be engineers and intellectuals in that sort of way. As for dwarves, I would say that their hair is a big part of it. The women have beautiful, thick locks with their naturally vibrant hair colors, and the men have very well-groomed beards. Again, kind of a focus on a really masculine appearance. I debated including Draenei's in this because they're not actually from Azeroth, they're from their own planet, Argus. But if we do look at them, there really is a sort of an alien beauty to them. They stand out because of their unique features like the hooves instead of feet, their tails, their horns, and the tendrils. The fact that they put jewelry on those parts of themselves show that they value those things that make them different from the other races, and so they put a special accent on it instead of hiding it. And this is further proof that other races don't adhere to each other's standards of beauty. Blood elves remind me of high elves from the Elder Scrolls, in that it seems that proficiency in magic, or for example intelligence and authority, are seen as beautiful. We can derive that from the way they speak even. All blood elves seem to have a sort of commanding tone to their voices, as opposed to the calm and breathy voices of the night elves. And I would say that the blood elves perhaps do value physical beauty even more than the night elves do. Orcs value strength and honor. They like a warrior who can hold their own. But really, get you a girl that can do both. We can take that from the way they carry themselves, the way they speak, piercings, facial hair, and their hair does seem to play some part in it, but to a lesser extent, as most of their hairstyles will feature somewhat of a bald head. They can actually strip back all of the typical features and show you that traditional ideas of beauty aren't really the goal here. I think that humans and the undead probably have a lot in common. Well, because the undead used to be humans. Humans in WoW are great in that they are very basic, and we've mentioned this already, how it's a very conventional kind of beauty in terms of both the men and the women, in both traditional and non-traditional gender roles, as there doesn't really seem to be a lot of fuss around that sort of thing in Azeroth anyway. As long as you work hard, you're humble, I would say that's mostly what it takes. I do think just like us, like regular people, they do put some accent and value on their physical beauty, but I do not think that they're always thinking about it or making it the center of their world all the time. Perhaps it's a thing that they take for granted because they have it. The undead, perhaps less so, because their bodies are physically decayed. There is not a lot that can be said for their appearance, or if any kind of beauty standards matter to them now. There are two examples that I can think of where beauty, physical beauty, was a very sore subject for the undead. Blind Mary is one such tragic example. She was once a beautiful woman who fell to the undead in Duskwood, and she found it hard to come to terms with her new appearance. She viewed herself as a monster. For that, she tore out her own eyes so that she wouldn't have to look at herself. The memory of my beauty makes its loss so unbearable. And this is why she is Blind Mary. And I know this is after TBC, but I want to mention this just for the purpose of this video. Lillian Voss. She was the daughter of a high priest, and she was killed just a little bit prior to the events of Cataclysm. She then woke up in Tearsful Glades, and her initial reaction to waking up as her new Forsaken self was visceral. She refused to accept this reality. Even though Lillian later embraces her new self and steps up into a role in the Uncrowned organization, we can see that the undead in general bear a lot of resentment for themselves and this state of being, at least in the very beginning. Their journey...
This is a fascinating take that, like, people don't talk about, and that makes sense, but you know, like, if you never fucking heard anyone talk about it, well, you yourself never think about it, right? And I think that this is really an interesting way to talk about the Forsaken. And yeah,
as an undead starts with self-hatred, denial, and of course from that we can derive that beauty and the idea of being beautiful is not something that they strive towards, but something that they now mourn. Maybe it's a bit of an indicator as to how the humans perhaps value it a lot more than they think, and they don't know how much they value it until they lose it. And now if we speak a little bit about attraction, of course people fall in love within their own race, but that doesn't always have to be the case. Opposites too can attract, and we've seen evidence of interracial relationships like the famous paladin Turalyon and the high elf Illyria Windrunner. Or maybe a more bizarre case, where a succubus mistress, Nagmara, fell in love with a dwarf who rejected her, so she asked adventurers to get a love potion for her. Love isn't confined to the standards of one's individual race in Azeroth, and if I had to guess, at the end of the day, it's more about what the person holds on the inside than what they show on the outside. I really enjoy exploring this side of fantasy worlds because I think that it further pulls you into their existence and makes everything so much more believable and immersive. All
Absolutely.
that said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What I find beautiful might not be the same as what you perceive in that way, and that's fine too. But I think that we can all agree that Azeroth, in its simplest iterations, is indeed very special and beautiful, in so many ways beyond the look of its inhabitants. It's just fun to focus in on those things sometimes. And that about covers it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, do be sure to leave a like and subscribe, I really appreciate it. As always, big shout out to my channel members, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all in the next video.
This is actually really interesting. This was an interesting take about like a subject that well, not a lot of people care about, and I think this content creator really was able to make me learn something and talk about something that people usually don't. All right, let's get into some memes, and yeah, let's get into let's watch some memes and I'll be done with.
You sober now?
No, now, yeah.
What a cute boy.
Something in my shower. I think I heard somebody break in.
What a lovely gentleman. A thirsty gentleman. Oh no. Oh no. Don't fall. Oh no! A creeper. Hey yo, what the fuck? Doggy. What an adorable puppy.
Mach het, jong. Nog einmal.
Perfect. Oh no. The ultimate enemy was here.
Fight to the death.
Who up in there? Who up in there? What the? Ooh!
Nigga, what's poppin', yo? Taking that shit. Leave me the fuck alone, boy. Hey, where the toilet paper at? Leave me the fuck alone, boy.
What a boy! Oh no! And he became the star of the show.
Bro, you good, bro? Whoa. You good, my guy?
Come on, sit down like a normal person.
Am I a normal person, Miss Bryant? No! I'm black.
When he's dying out, he's giving the belly. I'm the real rough one. Wow!
What the fuck?
Don't move the boat! Oh my god. Don't move the boat.
Hey, bro, are you hot? Why are we going so fucking fast, nigga? Hell, whoa!
Hate when this happens.
She say she wanna dance, but she don't know how to. Nice hot rod.
Tyson, c'est immense au volant. C'est pas des conneries, regardez, il tourne.
Oh.
Is this
Oh
what you
no!
want? Come on, strike me down, Zeus. You don't have the ball. That's fucking fun.
Oh no. Oh, gator. You know you're in trouble when it's the fucking elephant that is taking and that is stealing from your stash.
Since pilots couldn't see out of the plane because of angled landing, engineers put together a solution.
The Concorde featured a droop snoot.
Droop snoot?
Yeah, the snoot would droop.
The snoot drooped.
Alright. This was cool. And okay, let's check this out. By the way, let me check if my streaming is still ongoing. Like, just give me a second. Okay.
Hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet.
Because he knows he can bite this.
fabric. Did you see him chase me? I'm gonna move again.
This guy lives on a busy road and got tired of people stealing his packages all the time. He set up a fake package that makes a small explosive sound to scare people that try to steal it.
How many people can know the same guy that gets steal his packages?
This company made a device that's supposed to work out your face. They claim that using this product will tighten your facial muscles and remove wrinkles.
両側のウェイトを利用してバーを揺らすだけがパオ運動なんです。パオ運動は1回30秒、1日2回。つまり
You'll even be able to fly away if you need to.
たった30秒からの簡単トレーニング。だから毎日楽しく続けられるんです。
Wow.
This person bought a $55 bicycle lock and wanted to see how strong it was.
Little
Here's what a baby
hedgehog.
shark looks like while it grows in an egg sac.
This is extremely rare to actually see one of these egg cases with the shark inside.
Last year, the United States forced Volkswagen to recall over 350,000 cars because of cheating on emissions tests. As a result, there are lots throughout the United States with Volkswagen cars sitting idle. Almost every single car will eventually be crushed and recycled.
God damn.
The amount of detail that went into making this painting
Wow,
is pretty incredible.
it's a painting. What the fuck?
This might look cute, but this baby will probably take over the world sometime soon. That's the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Later!
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this was it for today. This was a good some good YouTube viewing together. I wish you the best, and as always, be toxic.